First question, and not really a question, but are you in town yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm curious. We've talked to both Frank Reich and Tom Rathman about how they're going to, they envision using you and Marlon. They say it's not a 1-2 attack, it's a 1-1 attack. That's how they're going to approach it. When is the last time in your career that you shared time? I mean, was it back as a sophomore in high school?
I mean, I shared time in college. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, there are times where we have Garrett Groshek in for an entire drive. We got times where we even have Nakia Watson in for an entire drive. And then there's some times where we're in 21 Pony. Me and Groshek are in at the same time. So it's not nothing new to me. I mean, it's just awesome being able to be here, and especially being around experienced guys. I mean, we got Phillip Rivers. I mean, legendary quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback. You got Marlon Mack, who's an experienced, top rusher. I mean, you look at the film last year. I mean, he's out there. He's making guys miss. He's taking it outside. He's taking it inside. So just being around a bunch of experienced guys, I think I couldn't have ended up in a better situation because I'm around so much experience. So I know there's just so much for me to take from everybody, just little bits and pieces of nuggets of knowledge.
Just a quick follow-up. Even though there were times that other running backs got a series or two, you still probably averaged 25 carries a game at Wisconsin. Will it take an adjustment to not get that much and sort of take what you can get during the season?
No, I think it's another level of focus here. I mean, you think about in college, you're already focused, and especially when you're second, third year college, you're kind of ready, you know what to expect. I mean, it's even another level of focus at this level. I mean, I can just already tell you don't count the reps, you make the reps count. So whenever you're in, you're on. Make sure you're 100%. I mean, you think about it, you're a professional now. When people at their jobs, I know my mother's at her job, she likes to do everything correctly to a T, as perfect as possible. And I'm taking the same approach here. I mean, whenever my number's called, I'm making sure that I'm on at all times because it's my job now.
Thank you.
Joel Erickson.
Hey, Jonathan. Coach Rathman's kind of famous for being a stickler on ball security. And when we talked to him a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that you and him have already kind of talked about that and gone over film. What was your impression of just the way he approaches ball security and how he can help you?
Like just how you said, he's a real stickler on it, and we're going through film. I mean, there are times where you think it's good ball security. You're looking at the guy and you're like, yeah, that's good ball security. And he's saying, hey, I think he actually could have been able to have it in this position a little bit better or even more. See this right here? You can eliminate that right there. So, just his knowledge of the game and, him coaching me up, I'm real excited. And, it's just about putting in the work as well. I mean, especially now through these Zoom meetings, I mean, there's nothing you can really do besides you got to go out there, you got to record, you got to show him film. I think that's the biggest thing because I'm not there to get those physical reps. So I want him to coach me up. I want those coaching points. So I'm doing everything in my power to get those coaching points any way I can without physically being there in his presence.
Was that something at Wisconsin that you felt like you could improve on?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, any running back, that's something you never want to happen. That's the one thing that you want to try and prevent from happening now as a running back. And of course, like you said, he's a real stickler on it, and he's great at it. So I think it was actually kind of perfect that I ended up in this position to be able to get high level elite coaching from a guy like Coach Rath to be able to work on that.
Bill B.
Thank you for your time, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Coach talked about how it's obviously not been advantageous for you not having many camps or not having the time. I guess the question is, what have you done or to what extent have you gone to try and bridge that gap? I mean, I know I've seen video on Twitter working on drills, but where's your head and body been at in terms of getting ready even though you can't be with the guys?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is speaking with the strength and conditioning staff, making sure that I'm following their program to a T, just to make sure that I'm trying to put myself in the best position possible in a time like this. And like I mentioned earlier, as far as the football aspect, I'm sending in film to coaches of me doing specific drills, just because that's the only way you're really going to get those one-on-one key coaching points without actually being there, because they can't see you do the drill. So the only thing that you can do to get those coaching points is kind of send those films in. So I think those are the two biggest things, is, staying in touch with the strength and conditioning staff and the nutrition staff, making sure that I'm following the plans correctly that they sent out, and then also, sending in that film to coaches so that they can coach me up through film, really.
Quick follow. How do you feel today?
I feel great. I'm alive. I'm an Indianapolis Colt. Life is good right now. I mean, we're moving in the right direction as far as, everything that's going on, as far as, trying to stay safe. It's been a wild time since, I think March is when it kind of really kicked in. So, just continuing to use precautionary measures wherever you're going, mask, and just trying to maintain.
Thank you.
Jim Mallow.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for taking the time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, I mean, have you got a chance to talk much to Marlon and kind of what's that relationship been like for you guys right away? And then the follow-up is just, I know that our coach has already talked about splitting carries, but do you see this as just a competition that you're entering in going into the season?
Yeah, I've definitely got to speak with not just Marlon, a lot of the other backs, especially asking those guys about the surrounding areas and towns. Especially in a time like this, it's hard to kind of find a place when you're not able to actually physically go to that place and check it out. I hate just going off of pictures. I know some people could just go on pictures online and say, oh, this looks like a nice spot, and, just go from there. I actually want to feel the vibes inside of, the potential place that I'm going to be staying at. So those guys have been definitely helping me out on and off the field. If I ever got any questions, I just shoot it to those guys, and they'll get back to me, as soon as possible. So that's been fun. But, especially on the field, I mean, we've been able to really help each other out. I mean, they've been helping me out, but there's definitely been times where they've been helping each other out. And I think that's the best thing. You're only strong as your weakest link. So coming in as a rookie and trying to make sure that, I'm trying to push my limits to new heights to equal the NFL level, just because I know that it takes a room.
So just to follow, so Marlon's been pretty receptive, and it sounds like that's what Frank said. He was excited to have you there, but he's been pretty receptive to have you in the running back room with him.
Oh, all the running backs, they've been, helping me out. Anything that I've had, I've shot multiple, running back texts, just to get, like I said, a variety of areas. Like, hey, where should I live at? Where do you live at? Or, hey, what is this again? I'm going through some of my things, and it's just not quite making sense. So, I mean, it's definitely been fun so far. And the crazy thing about it is we haven't really all been together yet for an entire week or so yet. Everything's been through Zoom for the most part. So that's actually kind of fun, because I can't wait until training camp actually starts and we're around each other a whole bunch more.
Olivia Ray.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for doing this. Wanted to get your thoughts quickly on the league deciding to make this Friday, Juneteenth, a holiday. What that means for the NFL as a whole, and I guess what your teammates' reaction maybe was to that ruling.
Yes, I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, you think about, they always say actions speak louder than words. So, being able to take steps like you said, putting Juneteenth into effect, I think that's definitely steps in towards the right direction of the entire bigger picture. And it shows that, they're actually moving towards, creating that overall change, or helping to create that overall change. So I definitely think that's just a big part. No step is too small, I feel like, when you're creating a bigger change. And I think this is definitely a great smaller step.
George Bremer.
Jonathan, thanks for your time. Some of the rookies I know who are out on the West Coast together, they said they were able to get together and work out a little bit. Were you able to work out in any groups, or has most of your offseason been solo?
Yeah, most of my offseason has been kind of solo, besides, the only other rookies that I've ever been with have been, the rookies that were on my team. I had one rookie that was at Wisconsin who was out in Arizona with me for a little bit. But as far as that, I've been out there solo dolo. That's why I think it's been so critical for me to, stay in contact with the coaches and really make sure I understand everything that they're sending, because, a lot of times you can work off of each other, feed off each other. Sometimes someone might understand something that you might not have quite gotten, and they're like, oh no, this is just what that means. So it definitely would have been fun to, link up with, a bunch of the other rookies, but circumstances didn't allow it. So I had to, you have to work with what you got.
Are you planning to take part in any of the players' workouts this week?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, shoot, this is one of the first times you're able to, get together. And so far it's just been staying safe and working out. And now you get that, have a little bit of fun getting around, some of the guys you're going to be working with throughout the season. So I had to take advantage of this opportunity.
Thanks a lot.
Greg Doyle.
Hey, Jonathan, what was the calculus in your decision to come out for the NFL draft when you could have blown that record up, that rushing record?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I took three things into consideration. I took accomplishments on the field, school, and timing. Timing as far as where did I feel like I was at, where did I feel like my coaches thought that I was at as far as my development. And, you really kind of look at those things and, you mentioned the record. You could stay for another year and try to get the record. What are the risk reward for that? What is the risk reward? You go to, your time at school. Are you far away from graduating? Are you very close to graduating? Did you graduate? And then you go into the timing. Where do you feel like you're at, and where do the coaches feel like you're at as far as your development? Do they feel like you're able to take that next step? Do you need that next level, coaching? Do they feel like, hey, maybe you need to stay another year? Maybe you might need to have a little bit more of a development in your game. So I think those three things really weighed heavy on that decision. And then overall, it just came down to me sitting down and really thinking about the decision and all of those factors together, and then just deciding that, I was going to declare this year to come on in 2020 draft.
How many hours away from graduating are you? And forgive me if you already have and I didn't know.
No, so I'm about 20 credits from graduating. So those are like a semester in like 2 or 1 summer class. And so that's like, school's never been a problem for me. I enjoy going to school. I enjoy learning. I've always did. So that was like kind of like, oh, okay, I can do that. That's not a problem for me.
Yeah, in the recruiting process with Yale, did you ever get far enough down the road where you actually had to apply and see if you can get in? Did you get accepted or not?
Yes, there in Harvard. I was at Yale 3 times. It was nice. It was nice. And yeah, I enjoyed myself, every time I went up there. That was tough. It was a tough decision to decide between, Ivy League and the University of Wisconsin. That was a tough choice.
Yeah, it's tough for me too. One more question. That was a joke. Are you surprised? Were you taken aback at all by your freshman year at Wisconsin and the numbers you put up? Confidence is one thing, but that was ridiculous what you did.
I don't think I was surprised with the numbers. I think I was more surprised with the receptiveness of my teammates. I always talk about the first time I got in the huddle, the O-line, they're behind me. I'm in front of them. Tyler Biotis put his hand on my shoulder. He said, "Don't worry, JT, we got your back." So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, no matter what happens, they know I'm a freshman. They still have my back. They're not gonna, tell coach, hey, he just messed this up, or hey, get him out of here. They're like, we have your back. So I think that kind of allowed me to relax a little bit more, because going into it, you definitely were tense. You wanted to make sure you were on point 100%, making sure you follow every coaching point. And you still did, even when you had the support of your teammates, but you were kind of more relaxed because you knew that, you're out there with those 10 other guys. So you feel real good and real confident.